Hamford Town Council meeting, 14th of May 2024. As I said before, just please, if fire alarm goes off, it is not a test, it is real. Please exit either through the exit at the back there or through the way you came in, and assemble the grass as far away from the building as possible. Make sure we're all there. Thank you. Agenda item 24.11.1 is to receive apologies for absence.
Move to receive apologies from Councillors Smith and Sullivan.
Thank you. Agenda item 24.11.2 is to note declarations of interest and requests for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or co-opted member has a disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. Does that apply to any councillors here?
No.
Thank you. Agenda item 24.11.3 is the open forum where comments and questions concerning matters on the agenda can be put to the council by the public during this period. Matters which in the chairman's view require debate and or a discussion will be referred to the next committee council meeting as appropriate. Items not pertaining to the agenda may also be taken at this time at the chairman's discretion, and the public forum is restricted to 15 minutes and 3 minutes per person unless the chair allows otherwise. Any questions from the floor? Yes.
May I introduce some topics to item number 11.9?
11.9.
When you discuss it, would be a good time for me to.
Right. You want to talk as when we do it? Yeah. Okay. That's absolutely fine. Anything else from?
Yeah, just wanted. I attended the annual meeting.
Yes.
Recently, and a vote was taken then to discuss at the full council meeting the Meriton
Yes.
Pavilion. Just wondered what the
Yes, it will be on the next agenda.
Okay.
I did ask the lady who put it forward if she would just put some details together for those members of the council who aren't familiar with Meriton Road Park, and she couldn't get those together in time for this meeting. So was quite relieved that it was going to go to June.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
So it will be on the June agenda. Okay. Anything else from anybody? Okay. All right then. We'll move on. 24.11.4 is to approve and sign the minutes of the Hamford Town Council Finance Committee meeting of the 9th of April 2024. Does anybody have any issues with those minutes? No?
No.
Okay, can I have a proposer then, please, thank you, Councillor Small proposes, seconder. Thank you, Councillor Petermore. All those in favour? Thank you.
Just looking at the Finance Committee members.
Sorry? Oh yeah, sorry, Finance Committee, yes, well, we were. Agenda item 24.11.5 is to approve and sign the minutes of the Hamford Town Council Planning Committee meeting of the 9th of April 2024. Does anybody who was on the planning have any issues with any of the minutes on that? Okay, can I have a proposal from the Planning Committee? Thank you, Councillor Small. So I'll second it. Those of us who are on the Planning Committee to vote on it, all those in favour? Thank you. 24.11.6 is to approve and sign the minutes of the Hamford Town Council meeting of the 9th of April 2024. Does anybody have any issues with the minutes there? Yes, Councillor Small.
Chair, I'd like an addition made to item, which one is it? 24.09.14, which relates to the donation of a grant or some money to the Scout Group. It's recorded as being resolved unanimously. I would like it to be recorded that there was one abstention.
Sorry,
that,
yeah.
And that was
Okay,
Yeah.
you can have that.
Yeah, I'll amend
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so may I have a proposer to accept that with the amendment as Councillor Small just explained? Councillor Sampson, seconder, please. All those who were on the committee. Yep. No, we're all on the committee.
Yeah, you're all there.
We're all there. We're on the...
You're all there.
All those in favour? Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from
Yes.
Councillor
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item 24.11.7 is to receive a report from the PCSO Who's the lead? Which
Him.
one of you is the lead?
Him.
Who wants to read it?
Oh,
Will you read it then?
Yeah. Alcohol Town Council Police Report meeting for today, 14th of May 24. Below is a breakdown of incidents in Hunford, not including Coleshaw, since the last meeting. The level of detail provided depends on what GDPR will allow and not compromising investigations. We've had no burglaries in the area and no attempted burglary, but we have had 6 reports of suspicious activities. These have included 3 separate reports, all on different days, of 2 lads wearing balaclavas riding a moped motorbike. A drunk male cannot get through the front door late at night at an address on Noel Park, just a case of the wrong house. A drunk male walking around back lane during the day, being a nuisance and approaching people, including children. Male described as long grey hair in his 50s. Theft motor vehicle 0. Theft from motor vehicle 2. Headlights stolen from 2 vehicles. Same address at the same time.
Bit weird, that one.
That needs a proper explanation, I think. Bizarre. Harassment 0. Repeat demand. Theft other 3. Bike stolen from the owner whilst on Family Hall Park. I don't know whether the owner was there.
I presume so.
A watch stolen from Total Fitness. A purse stolen at M&S. Possibly just locked, but not found. Report of missing people 6. 2 of these were the same person on separate occasions. Same young male that has been mentioned in recent town council reports. Dementia, person found safe and well. Suicidal, person found safe. Domestic incidents, 25. Only 2 repeat reports. Ex-partner sending abusive messages. All the were separate incidents, non-involving serious injury. Criminal damage 3. A camera was spray painted at the pavilion on Merrington Park.
Correct?
Correct.
Your cameras were sprayed at Merrington Rail
Yeah.
Park?
Just one.
I didn't know that.
The lens,
Yeah, just,
Yeah,
and the walls are being repeated as well.
Yeah.
Again,
a car had 4 tyres flashed, believed to be a dispute over parking. Smashed window at an Airbnb property that had been rented and used for a party. Violence 23. Only 3 of these incidents involved physical violence. The rest include verbal threats, reference of drug debt, 3 separate incidents. A male taking an overdose and threatening fire crew. Threats to kill, a mental health episode. Somebody drove a car as a security guard. A drunk male punched property. A patient pulled a knife on a support worker.
Yeah, it's a bit serious, isn't it?
A male slapped another male on the ear. A female gripped a male round the throat and punched him. Concern for safety 12. Unable to go into detail due to the nature of the reports. As requested, I have gone into more detail than usual, and if this is wanted by everyone going forward, I am happy to continue with this whenever it is feasible. As I have said previously, if there is anything you would like to see in this report that you currently are, please let me know and I will do what I can. Thanks, regards. He says so.
Thank you very much. He did intend to be here this evening, but unfortunately, personal matters have stopped him from coming tonight. So if there's any questions, I suggest we can email him, can't we?
Yeah, you can email.
You can email him if anybody has any questions, because obviously I don't have the answers because I don't know anything.
Just one question. Would like him to keep this format because it does explain to the councillors here exactly, instead of it
Yes.
just having a heading. I think it's good to have
Yes, so do I.
a small
It's very
description.
comprehensive. isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can
Yeah,
explain to him that we'd like it in the same format, please, Chair.
yeah,
Thank you.
You need a further detail.
sorry.
If you want.
Do we want further detail? Because but there are instances like a camera with spray painted at the pavilion on Morris Park.
Yeah.
Do we need to know what's been done about it, what the ongoing process is?
If it's still under investigation, Tim, I'm not sure.
Did we ask that he puts on under investigation?
Yeah,
Yes.
Resolved.
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
It does say at the top. If you haven't put any more details, it's due to GDPR or compromising ongoing investigations. But that's why I don't think it goes into more detail.
I was thinking.
Well, that's the concern of safety. One of concerns of safety.
Yeah.
We've done able to go into detail due to the nature of the reports, but something like male slapped another male on the ear. Have we investigated? Has he found somebody? Do we know who they are? Are they being prosecuted?
You won't be one.
We don't want to know who they are. We want to know, are they being prosecuted? Have we arrested somebody?
Yeah.
Or is it just a report?
That's done.
Male slapped around the ear. Well, is the male who slapped the other male still wandering around, potentially going to other males? Or has he been arrested? Has he been arrested? Has there been a prosecution? That's not against GDPR. Only if you reveal the name is it against GDPR.
Suggest that you put that list down, give it to Ashley, and you forward it to PCSO Harding, and he'll give a more in-depth report.
Even if
To
it just gives it to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. So if you could do an email, and he'll come back to you.
Okay,
Just look, a drunk male trying to get to the front door late at night in a dress, just in case of the wrong house. Have the police gone to that to get that information?
I would imagine so.
Or
they
is
must
it
have done,
just,
mustn't
is it
they?
just the end of the tale?
No.
Well, presumably
he
they
will-
have a house owner is reported them trying to get in, and they've gone, oh, that's open, but won't stay. Oh, the one.
Police, I'll just ring them up and tell them you're in the wrong house, that's there.
Well, if you put that, if you want a more expanded description, it just needs to be.
A long time.
Mm,
Well, even if they tell me the story.
Exactly.
I can tell this.
Yeah,
yeah. I would agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's something we need to share with everybody, except just those people that would like to know. I just want to know what the figures are and what they're doing. That's it.
It doesn't seem like a lot of the rest are going on.
Because we live in a very
Yeah,
happy.
well, that's, you're gonna have to ask that question, aren't you?
And everybody, it's all lovely.
I mean, in the numbers, I mean, domestic incidences, 25 in a month. That's quite considerable.
Yeah, it is.
23 incidences of violence, again, in a month.
Mm.
That's quite substantial for the.
No, that's not,
community.
not in a month. That's since his last report.
Well, that was last month.
That was last month, wasn't it?
April, it came in.
The figures today.
Yeah, but he's saying this is, maybe the month.
One every 2 days.
No, 25 incidents for me are considerably bigger, not like, I would like to know each month whether they go up and down. Personally.
Okay. Well, perhaps we can put that to,
We're going to do here.
yes,
Yes,
It's the problem, isn't it?
we just have to be careful that we don't overstep the line.
it would be nice to
Okay.
map the figures to see if we've got an increasing
Okay.
problem or diminishing problem.
Fair enough. We'll put that forward to the PCSO. Are we happy to move on? Okay. Agenda item 2411.8 is to approve and sign the order of payments for May 2024. Does anybody have any queries on the order of payments? Councillor Small.
But a couple of quick questions. What kind of inflatable is envisaged for the D-Day event? Is it a bouncy castle?
No.
It's an inflatable assault course,
It's an assault course.
fully supervised,
Oh, right.
and an inflatable joust,
And
fully
what kind of
supervised.
performer have we got for the D-Day?
And who, what?
What kind of performer have we
It's
got?
the band who are playing the appropriate period music.
He's actually quite famous.
Sorry?
He's actually quite famous.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
anything else from anybody? Okay, may I have a
Agree
sorry.
the payment.
Okay.
Have to agree the payment.
Yes, I know. I just broke that.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't moving on. Okay, can I have a proposal, please, to accept the order of payments? Thank you, councillor Small. Seconder. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 2411.9 is to approve the adoption by HTC of the Model Diversity Policy under the 2021 Environment Act. I believe a member of the public would like to say something.
Thank you. Yeah. As a potential and active participant in what's going on with this, victim, I would say, and one that I think all you will be potentially be convicted of. I just wanted to comment that I've read it in detail. It took me quite a lot of time, and a lot of things emerged from it that got me thinking about the reasons why the act was enacted in the first place and the history of it. And came up with some potential points that the council might want to consider in their personal and collective deliberations, you know, when you discuss with me the particular point, if I may. Getting that started really. And this may seem a bit over the top, but I'm trying to be concise. It's saying it this way. But first question is this Tony Blair's promised government tax? Second, is it a Soviet-style paragraph by a corrupt state? Second point, is it a snooper's charter? Potentially. What do you do within the context of the legislation when there are too many people? And last but not least, is it safe and effective? But it comes from a government who we've all learned tongue in cheek over the past 4 years, in particular, to have faith in, and in whose hands we've entrusted our welfare, health, well-being, and our elderly and our children. It requires serious thought. The other question, the last question I've got, is does not our elected independent representative council voted to become virtually instruments of the state seem a tad disingenuous? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Comments from councillors, please. Councillor Small.
Yeah, I've got several comments to make. If you look at the towards the bottom of the first page of this document, wherever action is agreed, as a minimum, local councils should ensure that they address biodiversity concerns when commenting on planning applications. I'd like to say that the vast majority of planning applications we receive are from householders. They are household applications, and the question of increasing biodiversity does not apply to such applications. It's only applied to applications which come from developers putting up a terrace of houses or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's one claim. I'm pleased to see that town and parish councils can spend funds in conserving biodiversity. And then towards the bottom of page 2, it says that the aims and objectives include managing its land and property using environmentally friendly practices that will promote biodiversity. We have, as a council, yes, I think it's true to say that, have created a local green space in Handful Hall, which may in the future come into our actual possession, in which case we should take care to conserve that. On the next page, it says, where feasible, we should involve the community in biodiversity projects on its land, including, for example, tree planting, which I know is planned, wildflower meadows and bird box making. I'd like to point out that the Friends of Handful Station have been very active in trying to promote biodiversity with bird boxes, bat boxes, even a hibernation box for lacewing flies. And then again, towards the bottom of that page, it says, in view of any local nature recovery strategies, species conservation strategies, or protected site strategies in respect of local sites of special scientific interest, and consider how it may become more involved in implementing the strategies recommendations. I raise that as an issue because a new local plan is going to be made, and this council may be asked to produce a new neighbourhood plan, and almost certainly they will be asked to designate the Knoll House site as a potential site for new building. The Knoll House site lies exactly adjacent to a site of special scientific interest in the form of the Dobbin Brook Clough. And then my last comment relates to the production of increased cover for invertebrates, reptiles, amphibians, and small mammals. And again, I'm thinking perhaps of this piece of land behind Handful Hall. When I were a young lad, I used to love to go hunting for rats, mice, voles, grass snakes, lizards, slowworms, and so on. And my technique was to look in the long grass for sheets of corrugated iron or wood, lift them up quickly, grab whatever was there. So I'm advocating that if we take over this piece of land behind the Handful Hall, that we put some bits of cover it down for these various species that are listed there.
Yeah, we'll put you down as the minister of the
Interestingly, that was a technique which was used to assess the wildlife on the Garden Village side. Yeah.
Any comments from any of the councillors?
Can I ask Barry why he sees it as being a potential snoopers charter?
Because it will be potentially possible for neighbours, for instance, to take control of the land in their gardens. And if we're making that to council smalls, like what we said in the beginning, in the 24th this year, the remit came on to domestic applications.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if I can just say, Councillor,
It would be
that they were, they had a drone up over Birmingham looking at people's residents' gardens to see what they had in there. I don't know why,
By whom?
but it was Birmingham Council.
Council.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
On the planning committee, we normally
On the news.
council. I will certainly look and see whether that has been updated. At the moment, I'm still working on perhaps an order vote.
I think Barry's point, I think we're getting that way. It's,
Big buildings.
yeah.
Medium to small, building projects.
Mm.
After April 24th, it came into domestic, single and domestic application for making changes in the government.
I can tell you for the moment that the planning application forms still just say that biodiversity is not a requirement in household applications.
Okay, Councillor Fogarty, you want to say something?
I have noticed that a lot of gardens are being, I would say, maintained and looked after because of the green bin payment. Because,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't pay for your green bin, you've got to put your garden rubbish there for you don't do the garden.
Yeah.
And, you know, the increase of overgrown hedges and things trailing across the path, brambles, is going up, and it will go up.
Yeah.
It's great for biodiversity because
Yeah.
we'll be having a quiet thing. And I agree. But there again, if you're looking at a road, you know, you can't walk down the pavement because of overhanging branches and everything. But you can't blame people for not doing it.
I do believe,
Unintended consequence, is it?
Oh,
This is hardly an unintended consequence, it's bad, wasn't it?
I mean, you're not going to do your garden if you've got to pay 56 for the year. Why would you? You know?
I do believe that there is legislation in the pipeline which will reverse what has been done by many councils. When that will come to fruition, I'm not sure, but it was certainly planned for the back end of this year. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. You know, but sorry.
A low 20% of people who have opted for the green bin.
Well, I would say another road.
24%. Figure.
Yeah.
I haven't gone for it.
No.
But just incidentally, trees are being neglected. We've had an incident on Wilmslow, the cars, where a gentleman was killed 2 years ago because a tree fell on him. And there have been numerous trees down Dean Road, heading down towards the Unicorn, that have fallen. And last week, on the big tree over there, a huge branch of it came down, missed a lady. Fortunately, I heard it and went out and looked, and it was right at the back of the house. I reported it to the Cheshire East website, made a phone call to them, investigate. I wanted the phone call back. I addressed them for the one, and the data.
What's bizarre, they've been overzealous in Hall Road Wood. Because the paper put it. They're really rampant through there. Obviously, you know, everywhere else.
I think in future, by all means, send one yourself as a councillor, but I would copy the clerk and ask him to also send it in because he has a lot more clout than we do. So we can ask for. But yes, I mean, you are quite right. They are being neglected, but we have had an awful lot of trees cut down over Hanford, and maybe not the right ones either, because I'm not sure how they make their decisions. But unfortunately, they are not replacing them, which is why there's an agenda item later on. But we've asked Cheshire East; they don't have the money and they have no plans. Plus, there is a new piece of legislation potentially, which is still under discussion at Cheshire East, and it's a very controversial document that talks about the planting of trees next to highways. And I can't remember the exact measurement. Can you? Was it something like 8 feet away from the curb?
3 metres, not we don't comply.
Which means that the majority of the trees around here do not comply with that. So does that mean they're going to cut them all down because they don't comply? I know there's a consultation going on because people think that it's ridiculous, to be honest, because they provide all sorts of environmental places for our biodiversity. So it's a huge question, and you're absolutely right.
What cost for somebody's life?
No, I know. Yeah. But they are supposed to inspect them, because when not last year, I think the year before, when we walked around with the Answer team on Stanley Hall Park, they told us that they are supposed to do a tree evaluation on a regular basis. Now, they wouldn't commit to the regular basis. I think that it's very much, we don't have any money, we'll do it as and when it's, you know, it looks like it's going to fall down on somebody.
Just
But we can't-
very quickly, the Heel Green has something to do with us, but where they're going to put cycle lanes through Heel Green, just opposite the mosque and onwards down that road, all those trees were earmarked, moving cycle lanes in. And the residents of the area resisted, put a massive complaint in and ribboned all the trees
Yeah.
and stopped walking back down. And very, very few of those trees have gone.
Well, we did the same. We didn't actually ribbon the trees, but when there was that application from what was then the hotel, we said no, we didn't want them to extend the car park and knock down the trees. Well, that would be a complete waste of time now because there's nobody in the hotel, is there? So, yeah, it's the same thing. Anyway, do we have? Sorry.
You just take a small point from me.
Yes.
Hedges.
Yes.
I actually, in previous years, Cheshire East have actually acted on people's hedges overgrowing paths. I wrote to them this year, and they said, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
No, well, there you are.
So you won't get a response.
Well, I think the only way forward is to apply them. There's lots of groups that will give you free trees, free hedges. Unfortunately, you know, they're stick insects, as I call them, but it's a start, isn't it?
I mean, there's a place down my road where there's over half of the pavement now has disappeared under the people haven't cut it back. Whereas previously, the council used to issue a letter saying, if you don't get it cut back, we will cut it back and give you the bill fee.
But this is the problem, they're cutting back on all of these things, and as a result, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether, you see, the problem is, I suppose, in many ways, if you do something to something, you become responsible for it. So if you as a good friendly neighbour go and cut a hedge because it's in the way and something happens, what happens then? We're into this age of litigation, aren't we? And it really leaves us in a very difficult position as to what you actually do. So I take it all on board, understand it, but where you go from it, I don't know.
Chair, maybe if we have a little bit more clout, we write to Cheshire East and give them a list of what we consider hedges to be dangerous. And, you know, there could be an injury. Can you come out and look at it?
Alternatively, could we ask our handyman to do something?
But then aren't we taking responsibility?
Yeah.
You cut it, then they could potentially have the next 2 years. Because
Well, what I do in individual cases, and I didn't really want to go into this, is I'll send them a letter from the town council
Yeah.
and threaten them
Yeah.
with Cheshire East enforcement if they don't cut it. End of story. Yeah.
Okay.
4 vans and 19 people, but you'd get a team.
Yes.
Okay, so do we have to approve this model biodiversity?
If you want to adopt it, yes.
Do we want to adopt it?
We have to.
No.
No, I just know that a fellow council turned to me and went, God, have you not adopted that? And I went, oh no, I better put it in an agenda.
And the significance is.
If what I'm just going to say, if we don't adopt it,
What doesn't matter?
oh,
The model one.
It's only a model one. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the consensus then? Do we want to adopt it? Is anybody prepared to propose it or second it?
I propose that we don't adopt it.
Okay, do we have a seconder for the non-adoption? Okay, Councillor Chris Sampson. All those in favour of not adopting it?
I'll go back.
Okay, so we're not adopting it.
You're against or abstaining?
I think I'm against.
Okay, right, agenda
Against.
Yeah, yeah. 24/11/10 is to agree a revised HTC grant application process and form.
Oh, yeah.
I must say that Councillor Small spent some time doing this form and changing what was a very long and complicated, long-winded, as far as I was
From
concerned,
the previous regime.
okay, grant application. I would like to personally recommend it to the council. Have you got anything further to say, Councillor Small?
Yeah, I've seen this problem from both sides of the fence. I've applied 15 times in the past for a grant from Handful Parish Council, as it then was, and had to endure the complicated process in going about that application. And now, of course, I've seen 1 or 2 applications from the other side of the fence and had to wade through it all. So I'm quite keen that we achieve some kind of reduction in the amount of paperwork and questioning involved. What I propose in summary is that the current situation is that we have this preliminary checklist of 25 questions, which is 4 pages long, and we have a 5-page application form making 9 pages of questioning in total. My suggestion is that be reduced to 4 pages only. I've tried to incorporate in the new or the proposed application form almost all of the questions in the preliminary checklist from the old regime, but not all of them. I think the worst one, if I can read it out, because I think this is a real gem, where long-term assets or projects of a value greater than £500 are being considered, HTC will normally require evidence that the long-term viability of the applicant, normally a minimum of 3 years, is sound. This will require evidence, audited accounts for the preceding 3 years, financial forecasts, cash flow forecasts going forward at least 3 years, and a financial plan to support the forecasts. All potential loan liabilities must be declared. Yes, I comply. No, I don't comply. No answer or not applicable, and then comment. That's just one question out of the 25. That I have not included in the new
Okay, anything further?
proposed new form.
Councillor Moore?
Well, as background, a simple fact is the previous chairman put this out to put people off applying for grants. It's the simple facts.
I'd really like to reduce it to just 1 page, because we don't need what we need from associations. We need people to apply, not to be put off.
Correct.
By this bureaucracy. We're here to help. And let's put it down to 1 page. Who are you? What you need it for? How are you going to use the money?
Well, we don't have it down as 1 page for now, but it's certainly a huge
No.
step forward, isn't
Yeah.
it? And it can be amended in the future if we need to.
The vast majority of applicants are well known to us. They're local scout groups, local schools, the Friends of Handful Station, for example. We know them all. They've all been around for some time, so we don't need to go into this crazy amount of detail of verification before application.
We just need a
Absolutely
1
not.
page to say, oh, if you want 4 pages, that's much better than 9. But we don't want to be putting people off from applying and getting us known out there. Reasons given.
Be any application we put to us as a team.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we
Yeah.
can apply for it sitting there.
Yeah.
So they can put the application and say, anything that we need to ask,
We can ask them.
you can ask them. And then we'll make a decision whether we do it privately from the person sitting there, who sits outside for 5 minutes, won't make a decision. Or with them sitting there, but they had a full explanation.
I mean, if the 1 page, sorry.
Councillor
I'm just saying, I would like to include a proviso that once the money's been given or the grant's been given, that at some stage there has to come back
Yes.
to say what we've done with it. I think that's the only way I would feel satisfied with giving you a big song and dance.
No.
Proof that they'd actually spent it on what they said.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
that kind of thing.
And have
Or
a
photograph or
holiday with
something.
Yeah.
That I think is more than 3 years of bank
Yeah.
statements.
Is that covered
Oh,
in
we don't
the
need
form?
that.
It is. Of course it
And
was.
some council will normally require an outcomes report to be completed at an appropriate.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Okay. Right.
Is it something that Roger would be keen to do an even more draft version? If you got the time to do it.
What I would like is for us to adopt this
Yeah.
as it stands at the moment, and if later it's still regarded as being
I agree.
at the top, then cut it down even more.
Yeah.
It's now, we're stuck with the old one, aren't we? So if we must move forward. So let's move forward and then review perhaps in 3 months' time, 6 months' time.
I would say, see how many years have you for 5 and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a feedback. and
And if you
feedback.
do put some on, okay.
Okay, may I have a proposer then to accept it? Councillor Sampson, seconder, councillor Fogarty, all those in favour? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry? Yes, absolutely. Agenda item 241111 is to approve the installation of a replacement town council notice board on Spath Lane, Plumley Road, which will then align all notice boards to the same design, cost up to a maximum value of £815 plus VAT, plus carriage. Councillor Sampson.
Yes, the notice board on Plumley Road is the one that Bath Lane Residents Association paid for, and it isn't in keeping with the town council. So we'd like to have a town council one that actually can access easily without having a number of keys going around jingling in his pocket.
So presumably
we
you
bring
bring the notices
together-
on there still.
Together
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay.
and have the same notice board.
Yeah.
Pardon? No,
Councillor Small.
yes. Correct.
Strongly support this proposal because I've looked at maps showing the distribution of disadvantage in Amport, and this area is the one most disadvantaged. And I think we ought to show as a town council that it's the same as every other and should have the same style of notice.
Okay. Let's not debate it further. Want to say something, Councillor Fogarty?
No, just
Do you want to propose it then? Second it. There's more, all those in favour? Thank you very much. Agenda item 241112 is to resolve that all employees of Hanford Town Council, regardless of role, are eligible for the membership of the local government pension scheme, LGPS Cheshire Pension Fund, and I put this motion forward. The reason I did so was because in a previous document, 2014, I think it was.
2013, something like that.
2013-14, it's precluded anybody else other than the clerk from belonging to the pension scheme. That's actually against the law now because all employees have to be enrolled in some form of pension scheme. But if, and I say reservedly, if we do take over the youth centre, we will have another employee, and you couldn't possibly expect that that employee would lose her Cheshire East Council pension because we, as the council, had taken over the building. I think it would be illegal. It was against, I think, a rules changed in 2017 or something like that. Can't remember the exact date, but we do need to change it to stay within the law. So, anybody got any questions? Okay, I'd like to propose it then, please.
I second it.
Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Agenda item 241113 to review and agree from, well, it's actually 3 tenders through contracts finders for a new festive lighting scheme to provide festive lighting services for Hamforth for the next 5 years, up to a maximum of £20,000. Councillor Sampson.
Yes, I've been on the Christmas light working group. The company that we have had since 2011.
No, 2016.
15, sorry.
16, yeah.
Is Lights. They are an excellent company. They do all the maintenance. They put them up, they take them down. However, they are going to add future lights. But having looked at one of these tenders, they're all within budget, but the one that I like, or that I would opt for, not just for being cost effective, is the Gala one. And I've discussed it with Ashley, because sometimes these light people get complacent and they say, oh, yeah, it's before town council, we won't put so many up this year, even though we're paying for it. Now, this Gala is going to make it look like Blackpool Illuminations if they do all that they say they're going to do within the budget. And sometimes to have a new person can perhaps make it a better prospect. But please come back with any questions. No,
Friday.
Fine.
Any comments?
How did you prefer the other one, the boot Claire, was it? The one with the
Yeah, but there, if you look at that, the maintenance is on top of the cost. They've not added it in.
Oh, right, then Gala is the better one.
Yeah.
Gala is the one that's done, what's it,
Oh.
Coventry Cathedral.
Oh, yeah,
Texas.
they've done, yeah, really good.
They'll do the swings across if we want them as well.
I don't think that's possible in the village.
No, it's not.
Because we don't necessarily keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did look very nice, and I think, oh, that would be good. No, no,
Instead of just the plain.
yeah.
small brand,
I
it's different. I think we've got to make it different, it's the same,
But as a lot of people said, I don't know whether the Gala's done this as a sweetener, but they seem exceptionally cheap. No.
No, this is North Yorkshire. They were based in Stockport. One of their depots is based in Stockport.
Yeah, but they're based.
But are they based in Selby overall, right?
They've got a place, a warehouse in Stockport.
Okay, Councillor Small, to say something.
All three of these tenders, the one for Gala lighting, I didn't like at all. I thought relatively little effort had gone into preparing the tender. I accept that it's one of the cheapest ones. It is the cheapest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I thought, well, little effort's gone into the preparation of their tender. Does that reflect, the service they're going to give us?
There was,
The
I
two
thought did go through my mind, but I was looking at it, that if they were going to give us the same service, I mean, really and truthfully, if it was left to me, I'd stick with lights, because we can't fault them.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because in my view, they come out top. They put a lot of effort into the tender. I liked the fact that they'd given an excellent table of what they would provide under the two options, two excellent maps showing where they were going to put all their displays, use of recycled material as well. They've all done that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it were up to me, and if we could afford it, I'd go for their option A at £20,615, because I think you get a lot for that.
Yeah.
Blachère, I thought, we were a close second at the winning post, a close second.
Use lights.
Right.
Are
Sorry?
they willing to change the displays, or do we have to have the same display each year?
No, we
Oh,
don't.
No, you can swap, but you can swap them,
Right.
change them around.
If
They've
we
all
go-
put that
if
in
we
there.
go with lights, we can actually tell them what we want.
Yeah. Are we going to extend them?
I believe in the second year they are, aren't they? Not in the first year.
This
They're
year.
going to do it in the first year, they can do it in the second year, I think.
Second year, and
Yeah.
in the second year, they're going to
Gonna
extend
take
it.
Towards the final.
Yes.
Which is no problem, yeah.
So, yes, they are going to, is the short answer.
So why has it come to the fact that we're going out for tenders?
We have
Because of-
to because of the auditors.
Yeah.
We did have 5, but the Christmas working group
Yeah.
narrowed it down to 3 because 2 of them were really.
Yes, well, I just hope that the complacency thing doesn't, you know.
They've totally changed everything, haven't they? They've totally changed everything. They're going to give us a totally new.
Yeah.
To the devil, you know.
There is a bit of a.
I must admit,
I like that you all like that because I thought maybe they don't want this lights. Let's because really we're only doing it because the auditors have said it didn't go into tender.
They know how, they know where
They
they're
do.
going, they know where they're going, they know where the access points are, the electricity points are, and everything.
Yeah.
You've not got to pay for time, just a month
No.
that. It's already.
they've
done.
already done it. I must admit, I did like the one there, but I think that was because it was so well presented.
It was.
But I think there are some hidden things amongst there, but I must admit it did.
You realise it was the company we normally
Yeah.
use is on in the list.
Okay, anybody, any further comments to make?
Light, can we afford their option A, because it slightly exceeds the.
It only slightly exceeds the budget, but we always pull back in other things.
Yeah.
Oh, we've already pulled back a lot on our planting contract.
And we
Yeah.
have got the money. And
Yes.
yeah.
We have got
And the
one.
one thing that I would say is when it's lit up, everybody comments.
Yeah.
I mean, we light it up better than any other surrounding villages.
Mm.
So, you know, let's not lose that. Yes.
But I think it's attracts a lot of people into Handful.
It does.
I was surprised on the Saturdays we've been in Hamforth, how many people, talking to people, said, oh, they're coming from roundabout Heel Green, all sorts of places and in and around Hamforth. And that part of the lights, the attraction. Okay, so
I propose light
go on,
option A.
lights
I'll
up. No.
second that.
Okay, that was a proposal in a second for lights. Shall I just leave now? Right, well, let's try then.
Chris?
Right, okay. Right, where are we now? A motion 24/11/14 to agree to the use of funds from the climate change environment budget for the purchase of trees to be planted in Hamforth up to a value of £1,000. I put this one in because we've had so many trees cut down in Hamforth. I know that hopefully we will be having a number of cherry trees around the village, hopefully when we put the application in. However, for diversity, we do need to have other trees as well, which is why I want to have this budget to be able to say, I've had a number of residents email me and say, somebody's cut down a tree, can we have another one? I'd like to have that flexibility to be able to plant.
Do we apply to the Woodland Trust for trees?
We can apply to the Woodland Trust as well,
Yeah.
but you've got to bear in mind that the Woodland Trust, when they send them, they are not very big. Yeah.
Once they're in.
Whereas we can get quite sizable trees for very sensible money, can't we?
Yes.
Which is a better start, I think.
Yes.
So it's just one of those. So if you would, any more questions?
No,
No.
the more trees, the
Okay.
better.
Just an observation. 12 years of dog walking, and as you're saying, the number of trees we've lost over that period is horrendous. And just a quick comment, the target for Woodland Trust and the government is, we work it out, it's roughly a tree per person per year. Handful population?
6,000.
6,000.
We're at 6,000 trees this year.
I know. Tell me about it.
You can tell.
Well, hopefully we won't be planting in the wood because hopefully the answer will resolve the issues in the wood, and potentially the BMW site that chopped all those trees down might be brought to book over it. We don't know as yet, so we'll see. Okay, so I'd like to propose that, please. Can I have a seconder? Thank you. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Motion
I do miss the 4-3 votes, you know.
24/11/15 to continue with the provision of CPR training courses at Hamforth Youth Centre at £50 per session, up to a maximum annual budget of £500. Comments, please.
I thought there were certain people that did it free. Isn't this the woman coming from Mongolia?
Yeah, no, she comes from somewhere in Manchester.
She wants £50 expenses.
Yeah.
I'm really sure that we could find somebody that is CPR trained in and around Handforth to hold it.
I think her alternative option was, if she got the training herself, would we pay for it? And it's only like about £100.
Yeah, it's £100 a time.
I think. No, just if she got it, as opposed to her sister coming down all the time. She lives on the estate, doesn't she? She lives on
You've got to have all the
estate. Yeah, we've got all that. We've got all the equipment. We've got the equipment. Yeah, we've got the equipment. Yeah. No, they won't. They charge. There's a lot of money. They got a lot of money. Well, that's why they want a bit of money, I think, because they're a GP.
I think I'm not against it at all. I'm just concerned as to who we're actually training and what we're trying to cover. In terms of, are we covering the village? Are we just training everybody and anybody who wants to be trained? And is that the best way forward? That's just my issue. If you train, 200 people throughout the village, is one of those 200 people going to be around when somebody collapses in Tesco? Do you know what I mean? Could it be better targeted
every year? It's not something you can do once.
No.
Because the rules and regulations change every year.
No.
The number of breaths to pressures changes on a regular basis. So unless you've got the same people coming back year after year, you're not really achieving anything, because someone will have, knowing a little is better than knowing none.
Yes.
However, if you do it badly and wrongly, it's.
I'd like to propose that we do training in the defibrillators rather than CPR, because I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't know how to use a defibrillator. Even if you go in and get the code and some guys on the other end, press his chest, whereabout,
To be quite honest, using the defib, once you get used to the American voice, that is a lot easier and a lot simpler. Because you just do, it's like being on television, you just do what they say. You can't go wrong.
Well, maybe, we should look at that.
Councillor Small.
I used to train medical students in CPR, and thousands went through my hands. But I was a young man then, and CPR requires a lot of physical effort, which has to be maintained for a long period of time. So if you're thinking in terms of restricting the kind of people that come in for these training sessions, I think there's a certain age group, and I'd be firmly in that, that's ought to be ruled out, because you couldn't apply the amount of physical effort.
Waste of a space. Plus, of course, CPR is not always appropriate, is it?
So if people turn out, I came to one CPR that they held at the youth centre, and I'll be honest with you, the person that was taking the training was, if I could say, economical with the truth, with what could happen, not what did happen, but what could happen. And I found it quite disturbing.
Okay.
Quick point here.
Go on.
I've done a bit of research. There was a bit on the Heart from the what's called the National Heart Foundation, and a point was made there that bad CPR is better than no CPR. It's really critical that somebody gets CPR going, and then you get a defibrillator and all the rest of it. You don't do anything, 2 minutes you're dead. So I think information is useful here. I know a little bit. I know it's great, but I just have to do something. And so I think the point I'm making is we need to be, I think, educating, informing. There's lots of good videos out there. They do a great video, which we could have on the websites and all of it. Back to Sue's point, it's okay having somebody trained and they're not here once somebody collapses.
Exactly.
If somebody collapses in the village near our office, at least I know roughly what to do.
Maybe you can link to the NHS video on CPR.
There's lots of stuff out there, it's available.
Yeah.
It's just Facebook was one way, get stuff out there so people at least will have a look, and if a few people see and a bit more informed.
Okay,
It plays a part, but it's a bigger picture, isn't it? That.
would councillors be happy to, I hate doing this, but defer this motion until the next meeting, and we'll have a bit more information about other things that can be done and how we could best, a bit like we did with the skips, just review it to improve it.
In the meantime, the CPR chest all came with a little DVD on how to do it, so I'll put that on the website.
Yes, Councillor Sampson.
I'll link to Facebook.
Yeah.
Reference to next one. Can investigation be made into the units you can also get for stamp victims?
Oh,
There
yes.
is a container similar to the
Yes, I've
DFID
seen
one,
it.
which is linked to the 999 system, and inside there's a pack, and you grab it, and it's got all the facilities to sustain blood flow.
Yeah.
And stamps.
Yeah, yes, I've seen it.
The ideal alongside each defect.
Yeah.
You know,
It's probably a bigger risk for having stabbing.
A very good proposal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to propose that we defer this to be brought back to the next meeting to look at that and to take on board what you've just mentioned there, the stab unit, and then we can make a more informed decision in June's meeting.
Well, what I'll do, I'll look myself and try and get the information for.
Yeah, okay. So I'll propose that somebody second that we'll defer.
Suggest
We need to do that? Yes. Can somebody second me? Thank you. All right, all those in favour of deferring it to the, okay, thank you. We'll bring it up next month.
I suggest, as I'm head of PR, it's I'm keen on your idea. If perhaps you ask to get together in terms of what we're going to need on the website. Get some ideas.
Good. Thank you. Place now. 24/11/16 is to review and agree a grant application received from Hamforth Library in respect of the summer 2024 reading challenge. Grant requested is £300. This is something the council has done for quite a number of years now, haven't we?
Yes.
And honestly, the children it gets into the library is amazing. And I've been there the last couple of years to present the medals and what have you. And it's such a worthwhile project. It's £300. Without it, the library will not be able to do it because they have no funds at all. Any questions for anybody?
Chair, I'd like to ask if we can put this on our agenda every year and not expect the library to put in a grant application that we donate to the reading group as opposed to asking.
Yes,
I think it's a really good idea that we do that, but don't forget Hanforth Library is on the threat of closure next year, so
In the interim.
if we give them a donation.
So in other words, it would be to review and agree that this year and next year, depending on the circumstances, we give the library.
Definitely.
Okay. So that's the reviewed motion. So an amended motion.
Yeah.
So I'll propose the amended motion and have a seconder. All those in favour? Thank you. 24/11/17 is to receive a building survey from HTC contractors for Hanforth Youth Centre and to note its conclusions. This is a very big item, and if you've looked at the survey, there's an awful lot of things that's Yeah,
Not a bit.
Oh, that looks lovely.
We ask him for.
I,
Does it run to about 100 pages?
yeah,
This is the conclusion.
councillor Sampson has a proposal.
Oh, no pictures then, no pictures.
Can we please not have, thank you. Councillor Sampson has a proposal.
My proposal is, we have a very good resident who's a retired surveyor. And anytime we want him to get involved, he doesn't want to come on the council, but he will review any surveyor's reports, give us a report back, which isn't binding, but he's got the expertise to see what this company are doing, because I got lost in paperwork, to be honest, reading through it. And I'd like to get the authority from the committee to ask the clerk to pass the document on to Mr. Alan Murdoch, who I know will review it and come back to us with a response. And that's my proposal.
Reach open.
Yeah, and go on.
I'd like to say that the town council's investment in all commercial has been well worthwhile. This is a very extensive report, and I too got quite lost in it, basically going to fall asleep reading it and so on. Ashley's kindly printed off for us the conclusion and discussion part of the document, and there are various figures in it for various items that need attention. And if you add them all up as they stand in this document, it comes to 120 odd thousand. But I'm suggesting to the council that that's likely to be an underestimate, because if you read through the report, there are various points in which the surveyors say, well, we came to the roof here. We know that underneath it, there's probably this, that, and the other, and that might need attention, but we were unable to remove the roof, so we can't tell you yay or nay. So I think just totting up these figures in the conclusion discussion, the final there of 120,000 should be regarded as an underestimate. One example is that they quote a certain figure for a toilet block, and actually tells you that
It would be 3 areas as they describe it.
by that figure by 3.
Yeah. It would be 3 areas.
Required to replace it.
No, they're not required to replace. These are suggestions.
Yeah.
Is
the big issue.
That's the issue, and again, it's a medium-term suggestion. Okay, they're all suggestions. I've looked into the government grant funding for this from the Levelling Up Fund and expressed our interest at 80% match funding from the government. We're a good fit for the fund because it's about community groups like ourselves taking on assets such as this and making them as viable as possible for that group to get involved. It's match funding. They provide 80% of the funding. We would have to provide 20%.
Oh, see.
Yeah, it's not match.
It's not match. No, like for like. They would provide 80% of the funding. Yes, if we got the matched funding. If we didn't, yes, you could. It'd be yeah, you could still, because you still sat on film money, which is our matched funding. Okay, we have £33,000. I did some calculations, Roger. We could apply for it to 160 against 33,000.
Yeah.
Okay. If we didn't get it, which is going to be my kind of suggestion, we put in for the match funding, and if we get it, we're
then
good.
we can go ahead.
Okay. If we don't get it, I'd be a bit iffy. And I'd have to come back to you and say, well, you're looking at Public Works Loan Board.
So, sorry, just 1 second. What would the could we apply for that match funding now?
We can apply for it when it opens in late May.
Right, okay.
I was going to say to the council that I suggest that our clerk goes ahead at the end of May, because we're not going to lose anything by applying.
No.
So let's just apply. Exactly. And I think if and Ashley's had expertise.
Good to help him with it,
Yeah,
because he's good
of
with that
course.
side of things, yeah.
So, you know, this is what, but, you know, at the end of it, this is what the council's all about, because it will be our biggest ever project that any town council's ever taken over.
You know, the rent, you say we would be renting it from Cheshire East.
No,
No,
it would be given us almost
we'd be giving it.
on a long lease from Cheshire East.
So, but do we have to repay?
No,
Oh, right, that's what I was going to ask. Is it feasible that we'll make the money pay the rent?
but we're not paying any rent. No, no. We can afford the running costs.
Yeah.
We've budgeted for it all.
My question is, when can we apply for this topping up grant?
The end of
End of May.
Hang on a minute. Does that, has it got to be, or can it be before we
Yes.
sign the lease?
Yes.
Or
Yes, it can.
after?
It can be before we sign. You've got to be in the process of entering into a lease agreement with the local authority.
You can apply before we've actually
Yeah,
signed
Yeah.
the lease.
Yeah.
That's useful.
we can give that to them as part of our application. Yeah, 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 okay. No, you have to give them the time frame you're going to do it in, because they'll need to know, sort of thing, but no.
I know you're trying to push a job my way.
No, don't worry, it'll be absolutely fine.
So I'd like to propose that the the youth centre community group takeover group meet in the next couple of weeks to review all of this, because this isn't the end of it. There are lots of other things that came out of the report when we had the professor from Manchester University, Mrs. Backhouse, and she came round and mentioned all sorts of things. We need to be making some plans before we sign that lease and say, yes, this is doable, that's doable. Yes, we can save money here, there and everywhere, because we know it's very badly managed. We know that for a fact just from walking around. For instance, the lights are on all the time. You know, the heating's on all the time. All of these things can be controlled, but we have to go into more detail. And I suggest that the group meets before then and at least put some more proposals to the council, as well as we apply for this.
I think it's very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Copy of that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So while we agreed then, are we happy that we do what we've just said? So we send that to Mr. Murdoch to have a look at, so that he can report back to us that the group for the takeover of the youth centre meets to go through various things and start making some further plans, and we apply for the matched funding as soon as it opens.
Yeah, as soon as it opens.
Okay. Proposal.
Sorry. Meeting the working group, we invite Alan Murdoch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll invite Alan and we'll go through things.
Because I don't know, is that group just councillors or is it?
Just councillors, Alan will come
Yeah.
in and, yeah. It is just councillors, but there's a lot to consider, because we can't expose the residents of Hanford to something unless we've fully investigated it. You know, I know we want to save this building and it would be under threat as everything else is in Cheshire East, but we can't just do it at the drop of a hat without all the suitable investigations. Okay, I'll propose what I've just said. Can I have a seconder, please? Can we vote on that? Okay, so we move forward in that way.
Yep, that's fine.
And if my memory serves me correctly, I've lost my place.
Notices and correspondence.
Is that the end of it? Notices and correspondence.
We received the second still instalment of £16,500.
So
£33,000.
yeah, can only be spent on infrastructure projects which we already have written down in our
Infrastructure delivery.
infrastructure delivery plan.
Yes, it's on the website, but you can have a copy. Yeah,
Not likely to get much more still money for years.
might not. Might not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put the names forward for this asset transfer working group and also the work.
Yes.
Assets is Councillor Sue Moore, John Smith, Peter Moore, and yourself, and the community group. Where's that?
Same
Where's that?
people. isn't it?
I think it's roughly the same people, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it's the same people. Oh, here we go. Sorry, same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same people.
Sullivan was on
He
the
doesn't.
group.
Yeah. Looking on it, she said. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't want to be on it because of the data and meetings and stuff like that.
Yes, you're happy with that?
That wants to, you know, if there are other councillors that want to join the group, just into the
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a very, as Councillor Sampson pointed out, it's one of the biggest decisions we will ever be making. So it needs a lot of consideration. Okay, that is the end of the meeting. Thank you very much. I know it's been very long. What have I missed out? Oh, yes, the date. What's the date? The 11th.
11.
What you are on holiday?
I knew you were on holiday. I knew you were on holiday. Because I'm going. Well, I'm going to the 14th.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And you think you've got 1 second. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Second that.
Yes.
At the same time, I miss the secretary. Yeah, the both read consistently. Yeah. I'm staying. No discussion.
Just 1 minute, we're just going to think about bringing the meeting forward because some significant people are missing. Why not?
It's a bit of a killer because look, I can only deploy notices that day after the bank holiday, and I've literally got 1 day when we're prepping for D-Day event, so I'm really struggling for time. Getting agendas out. So on the 28th, which should be the week before the 4th of June meeting, and it's just the day. It's the day after the bank holiday.
Together as a group and do it, bring it forward.
Well, if you want to, but you're killing me. It's just really getting everything together. How many people are going to be here? Roger. Wednesday. Tim.
To you here,
Councillor
John Smith will be here.
Be co-opting one more member on the side.
Could we not do that?
That's
That's
it.
a Saturday.
That's a Saturday. That's a Saturday.
Is it have to be a Tuesday?
We do it a different day.
We do it on the Thursday.
When are you going in? Do it on June the 4th if you want to. Tuesday. I mean, it's going to be a nightmare, but I'd rather do that.
No, we've got so many important things to discuss. We're
Do you want
down 2 councillors.
Yeah.
If we're down another, we're going to be down 4
Yeah.
councillors.
And I'm also thinking the length of time between that meeting on the 4th and then the meeting that will be on the 16th of July.
Yeah.
There's no difference in the timing point of view. Either stick to the 11th or
Stick to the 11th. And if
Or,
need be,
yeah,
if you send me the agenda as soon as you've got it,
yeah,
and then I do my scribing, that you can produce it.
Well,
it's fine.
It's Zoom viewing.
Because of course, on the July one, he's going to be able to finance stuff as well. So yeah, so we're leaving it in. We've got to, that's what I mean. Yeah. We. Yeah, it's 11. It's faces again. People supporting us and helping us is what we need. Thank you very Oh,
Fall over there. It's